Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, text 21. Tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गता गतं काम कामा लभन्ते. Now Krishna has been explaining about the demigod worshippers, Bahudha Vishwato Mukham, how they perform different kinds of sacrifices and elevate themselves to the heavenly planets, where there is lot of sense pleasure, sense gratification. Now, what happens after that? So here it is said, they, those people, tam, that kind of enjoyment in heavenly planets, bhuktva, having enjoyed, in the Swargalokam, Vishalam, very vast sense pleasures in heavenly planets, having enjoyed that, Kshine, Punye, and after exhaustion of such pious credits, Martyalokam Vishanti. This Martyaloka means this Mrutyaloka or this earthly planets. Martyalokam Vishanti. They come back, they fall down to this earthly planets. Evam, in this way, Trayi Dharmam Anuprapanna, one who follows this Trayi Dharmam means the Vedic literature has three Vedas, Trayi, or actually there is only one Veda originally that has been expanded into additional three. That is why the Vedic knowledge is called Trayi. So, Evam Trayi Dharmam, in this way, one who follows this, the Karmakanda rituals mentioned in the Vedas, sacrifices to the demigods mentioned in the Vedas for promotion to higher planets. This is called Trayi Dharmam Anuprapanna, following the Vedic principles for higher happiness. What they will attain? Gata Agatam Labhante Kama Kama. Those who desire sense gratification, they attain Labhante Gata Agatam, birth and death only. So this is the situation, or this is the result of performing Vedic yagnas meant for sense gratification. You may attain to the heavenly planets, enjoy the Somarasa, enjoy the beautiful Apsarasas, enjoy vast life, 10,000 years of heavenly, in those standards. Each day is 6 months of earth time, and each night is again another 6 months. So one day is like 1 year. So just imagine, like that, they live for 10,000 years. So very vast, Swargalokam, Vishalam. But at the end, all those credits are done. Kshine, Punye, Matyalokam, Vishanti. You may go to a biggest resort. You may take the best room with the best view. But the moment your credit card goes out of balance, your card gets declined, they will treat you with utmost disrespect. They'll shoo you away. They'll, if you don't go out, they'll force you to go out. Isn't it? So, heavenly planets are also like that. You have to live there, enjoy there based on the accumulated assets on this planet. And once you are done, Bhagavatam explains that you will come down again to this planet and become herbs, creepers, vegetables, food grains, And these are eaten by different living entities and turned to semen, which is injected into the female bodies. And again, one takes birth. So, but somebody may say, no, I want to go to the moon planet or Mars planet by my vehicle, material vehicle. Firstly, that has been tried since last 60 years, even though man went to moon 60, 70 years ago, but they have not gone again. That raises serious questions. But even if they did go, they cannot stay there. They came back because life is not enjoyable according to their own vision. Actually, the moon planet is full of enjoyment, but they could not access that realm. Just like somebody from other planet, let's say, they came and landed in a vast desert in on the earth, Sahara desert, and everywhere they see it's only desert. Hundreds of miles they see around it's desert, and they conclude, oh, this earth planet, there is no life. What do they do? They do nothing. Nothing can be done in the desert. So they go back. So, like that, the access is restricted. The people in the moon planet, they are very intelligent, high class demigods. They restrict the access. What do? You go back. Punar Martyalokam Vishanti. So Prabhupada says either you go by the rituals or you go by material means, just like Ravana. He wanted to build a staircase to heavenly planets. He said, why do you have to perform so many troubling rituals and do hard work? I will build a staircase to heaven. You can all walk and go. So, like that, it is the modern thinking is very similar to Ravana's thinking. We want to enjoy life, exploit this nature, and enjoy our senses at the cost of others, at the cost of exploiting nature. When life is centered around sense gratification, you completely lose perspective of what is true enjoyment, what is true freedom. Like this, there was this man who was full of misery, and suddenly he found a friend, and he struck a nice chord with him, and they quickly became very best friends. And so he forgot his miseries, and they both were enjoying. Every day they would meet, they would chat for a long time, and then they would go do their duties, and again evening they meet and again chat and play cards and whatever. And suddenly one day this friend came and told, he has to go to some other place. He is forced to move. And his friend said, don't, please don't move, stay here. And this friend said, no, 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 I have to move, I have to go out. Then I also want to come with you, let me go. So okay, then you ask your employer. And he goes, then no, 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 you cannot go there. Why? Because he's going to get released. They are in jail. So this man is in jail undergoing distress so much. Suddenly another person comes to the jail, another prisoner, and they became best friends, and they cannot live without each other. Now the other prisoner is sent to another prison because of his crime. And now this person, even though he is going to get released from the prison, in few days. He wants to get transferred to the other prison just to be in the company of this other criminal. Just imagine, he is going to get out of the prison. He is going to get the freedom. But he is willing to let go of his freedom and accept the life of suffering in the jail, extend his jail punishment for it. The other example I would give sometimes is there was this bird, and somebody was having this pet bird, the parrot, in a house. And his friend visited, and he looked at this poor bird, and he said, "Hey, why are you keeping this bird? See, I'm teaching him nice language. I'm teaching him nice singing, so he talks nicely to the friends. I give him nice food. He enjoys." And then this visiting friend said, "No, but he doesn't have freedom. He's suffering in that cage." So somehow he convinces him and gets the bird released from the cage. And they open the bird, and the bird walks out, looks at the whole open sky, beautiful freedom, other fellow birds flying in enjoyment. And to his surprise and shock, the bird walks right back into the cage and closes the door. And then this friend is shocked, the visiting friend. Why? And then he finds that there are some these grains this bird is trying to pick and eat. And he asked this friend, "What are these grains?" He said, "Oh, these are special sugar coated grains which are a little intoxicating. This bird loves it so much." So this bird, it got so addicted to this sugar coated, addicting, intoxicating grains that even though it was given the option of unlimited freedom, enjoyment, the original enjoyment, because it was so addicting, it was so addictive to that grains, it came right back. So, this enjoyment, sense enjoyment, is so addicting for the jiva, for the conditioned soul. They think that that is only the higher enjoyment. There is no other enjoyment in this world. The enjoyment of Krishna consciousness is like the unlimited freedom, where we are like the bird which belong to the big sky, traveling with other fellow birds, exploring and enjoying life. That is the life in the spiritual world. That's the life when you serve Krishna. But we are too scared to lose our material enjoyment. And we are willing to undergo so much of hardship. Just like this person in the jail is willing to undergo hardship and go to the other jail for him, for his friend, for his enjoyment. Or this parrot is willing to compromise and be in distress, bound in that small place. So, this is what the sense gratification does. And this is how people get carried away. Oh, there is so much of pleasure in higher planets. It is like going from a small cell to another cell, which has maybe air condition, maybe a good ceiling fan, maybe a bigger room. After all, it's a jail. This material universe, wherever you go, it's a jail. It's a term for punishment. Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik kleshas exist. Wherever you go, there will be miseries. We see in the scriptures, Bhagavatam, the demigods are also constantly under anxiety. The demons are all attacking. all the time. Indra is in anxiety when somebody is performing sacrifice. Ashwamedha Yagna. Indra is in trouble. He is thinking, oh, if he performs 100 Ashwamedha Yagnas, he becomes qualified to take the post of Indra. Let me do something about it. He's always on pressure to keep up his post. Just like people in this world. Somebody may say, oh, he is the richest man in the world. But for him, he is thinking, yes, I am the richest. But to protect my position, to keep myself up here, I need to work so hard to keep up myself in this place. So he has to work so hard just for that name of appearing top on the top. But in spite of working so hard, if according to law of karma, if he has to fall, he will fall so drastically. It's not in our hands. I went to one university for giving a class in Bhagavad Gita. So the student, who was a regular student, at the end of the class, he was chanting also. So he came and asked, Prabhu, so I'm chanting and I'm following these regulative principles, but I have to live in the college with so much of fellow enjoyment happening. But I'm trying to restrict myself from not eating this, not eating that, and being regulated about what I do, where I go, and who I associate, what I watch, all these kind of things. And I see many times, I feel is these people are enjoying so much. And even though sometimes I see in my village, my town, people who lived sinful life, they're enjoying so much. And people who have lived devoted life, they're suffering so much. So then I told him an example of there was this professor in a college, and he had one student. Of course, he had many students because he's a professor. So one student passed out of the college. He did very well in his career. He founded a company. The company was doing very well, and he sold and made money. And he's now into another company, but now that company is in trouble, and he's in severe pressure from the board to resurrect the state of the company. And there's so much of expectation. Family is in trouble, and he has issues with his child, and so on and so forth. And this professor has always been a mentor. And so the student comes back to this college, takes an appointment with the professor to talk, and asks the professor, see, I'm undergoing so much trouble, but I always had this doubt in my mind all this while, the last decade or so, when I was achieving success. I always had this doubt that you taught all of us, not just me, hundreds of people like me, they all went out and they became very successful. They have achieved millions and they have achieved a lot of accumulated wealth and they are enjoying a lot. But you, who have taught them all this, if you wanted, you could have achieved all of that with your expertise. After all, you are so brilliant in all these subjects. So why you chose to be like this, simple? And then he said, my nature is to teach and find enjoyment in giving knowledge to others. I have seen professors who, for higher enjoyment, they left and they would call me and tell me that their life became miserable because that's not their nature. So you have to find your nature and be satisfied doing your duty according to your nature. But you have to have a higher purpose in life beyond this material world. So I worship God with whatever I have. I worship God, and I have sense of a higher purpose in life by doing my duty. So I'm happy while doing my duty, and I have a higher purpose in life. So what else you need? You will never have an incomplete, troubling life. And then this man became quite enlightened. So he did not know that how much ever you accumulate, if it does not satisfy you, let's say somebody is called for a lunch, and then he's given all kinds of food, and he's eating, and then suddenly somebody comes and says, hey, sorry to tell you that as soon as you get up from that place, or as soon as you are done with lunch, it is so designed that there is a sharp knife hanging on top, and the moment you finish your lunch, it is designed to come and fall in that place. And then he looks up, and then there is this sharp sword hanging. Can he actually enjoy that lunch? All the favorite items are spread. He's very hungry. Can he enjoy that lunch? No, because it's always bothering him. When will that sword come and fall on him? So this material world is like that. In order to get something like good meal, there is always that threat. There is always that danger. Anything which is achieved in this material world, higher sense of enjoyment comes with lots and lots of hardship. Of course, somebody who has karma, even without hard work, they may get. But that does not mean one should go prayasa. Prayasa means extraordinary hard work to achieve something which is not meant for us. After all, we only eat, those three chapatis, two chapatis. We need that 6 foot of space for sleeping. We need a simple vehicle for transport. We need simple set of clothing for good life. But more and more we accumulate. Not for us, for that so-called name, so-called fame, for our future generations, for our security in the future. Bhagavatam says the real security is Krishna. If Krishna decides to protect, nobody can hurt. But if you decide to protect yourself against the laws of nature, nobody can protect you. If God decides that that's it, your life is ended, it has to be done. देहापत्य कलत्रादिष्वात्मसैन्येष्वसत्सपि तेषां प्रमत्तो निधनं पश्यन्नपि न पश्यति. So it says this the body, we build this body, we try to care for this body, we live for this body. And then Dehapatya, our children, Kalatra, the wife, Adishu, the relatives and social circle, connections. Atma Sainyeshu, he is building this Sainya, all these things, he expanding, but they're all Asat. Asatsu api, Tesham Pramatto Nidhanam, but out of Pramatta madness, he is acquiring them more and more, losing sight of his ultimate goal in life. Pashyannapi na pashyati, even though he's seeing people around him falling, dying, still na pashyati, he does not see. He thinks he can enjoy, only he can enjoy. So he still goes after aspiring for sense gratification. So people who may enjoy, like I was saying about the student who asked me, "Oh, Prabhu, they are all enjoying." Yeah, they may seem to enjoy, just like the water comes to your house as long as there is water in the water tank. You can enjoy the water, but once the water is dried up, no more enjoyment. So they may be enjoying because, according to the karma, they have been bestowed that enjoyment. The moment you abuse it, no more enjoyment. Like one devotee told me, he became very thin when he came to the festival. I asked him what happened. He said, "My quota for enjoying sugar in this life is done. No more sugar. I'm on a strict diet, diabetes." So if you keep on abusing your body, then you have to catch up. Law of karma catches up. Then you have to pay price for it. The quicker you enjoy, the higher you enjoy your quota, the faster that gets depleted. And you have to suffer for the remaining balance of your life. So one should not lose sight that this material world. Some people might get a good deal. It's law of karma. Some people may be suffering, but don't lose sight of it. Have a higher purpose in life. Lead a life according to regulative principles mentioned in scriptures. Live a life of higher purpose by surrendering to Krishna. The real life, just like the parrot, the real life is outside. Our actual enjoyment is by going back to Godhead, not in this temporary, miserable, prison like material world. Even if you go to the higher planets, it's going to be incomplete, it's going to be suffering. So we lead a life of aspiring to go back to Godhead. And the beautiful thing is, while living that life, Krishna says, we will not be deprived of enjoyment, even in this life, because the life of Krishna consciousness, he is full of enjoyment. Even in this life, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkhair Vimuktamrutam Ashnute Gunair Etan Atityatrin Dehi Deha Samudbhavan. Even in this body, Deha Samudbhavan, even he's got this material body, he can become freed from the effects of Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkhaihi. Vimukto Amrutam Ashnute. He enjoys nectar by life of service to Krishna. And then at the end, he'll go back to Godhead and enjoys unlimitedly. We'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila